I hope you understand this. Now let's go to the last part here. So the last part here, use the trigonometric value to find others. Now the question gave me tan theta is equal 5 over 12, where sine theta is less than 0. Now to solve this equation, first let me remove this. I don't need to use this, okay? Because I need you to understand how to understand it, okay? So let me remove this one up here. Okay, let's keep it up. Let's go down. So the question will be given like this without the coordinate. Now let's draw the coordinate plan. So y and x. Now it's saying tan theta is equal 5 over 12. And tan theta here, the answer is positive. And because this one is positive, so tan in which quadrant is positive? I know that all students take calculus. So take calculus in quadrant 3, right? So in quadrant 3, okay, I know that, but before you decide it's a quadrant 3, you need to use the rules given here. Sine theta is less than 0. Because, I will tell you why. Because the tan theta, okay, the question give me tan 5 over 12, which is tan is positive. Now you need to ask yourself this question before you decide which quadrant. Tan theta is positive, right? So at which quadrant that tan is positive? I know that tan is positive in quadrant 3 and also is positive in quadrant 1. So which one should I pick, quadrant 1 or quadrant 3? Always when you're deciding the question, always the question will, let's say, give you two options to decide. And then he will give you this information, and this information will just give you the final answer, which means it will decide which quadrant that you will pick. For example, look to this one here. Look to this one. Secant theta. Secant is positive. Secant is reciprocal for what function? It's cosine. Where cosine is positive? I know that cosine is here positive and also in the quadrant 1. Okay, quadrant 1 and the quadrant 4. Okay, how do I know? Where do I have to draw the triangle? How do you know? It's from the second given information here. It's saying here tan is less than 0, so tan is negative. I know that in the quadrant 1 tan is positive and tan here is what? Tan is negative, so the triangle will be in the quadrant 4. Look to this one here. Sine here is positive. I know that sine is positive here and positive here. But here look, cotangent. Cotangent is what? It's positive. So I have quadrant 1, I have quadrant 2. In which quadrant that sine is positive and tan is positive? So in quadrant 1. So the triangle will be in quadrant 1. So you have to use both information, and both information will give you or will guide you in which quadrant that you are going to draw the triangle. So let's go back here and let's draw it again. Let's do it again. Focus. Now, the question gave me, let tan theta equal 5 over 12. 5 over 12, so that means he gave me it's positive. I know that tan is positive in quadrant 3 and also it's positive in quadrant 1. Now, where should I draw the triangle? Should I draw it here or should I draw it here? In which side should I draw it? Who will show me where the given information after the angle? Sine less than 0, so that means sine is negative. Sine is negative in quadrant 3 or negative in quadrant 1? The sine is negative in quadrant 3 because in quadrant 1 sine is positive, so I can't draw the triangle in quadrant 1, so the triangle will be drawn in the quadrant 3. So this one here will be my triangle. So now let's draw the triangle, and always the theta, always with the x-axis. Now, after I know this one here is the point, so I know that this is the coordinate. So what's the coordinate? I know that this one here is opposite and this one here is the adjacent. I told you before, x and y, this is adjacent, okay, adjacent, this is opposite, okay. Now adjacent is a 12, okay, here, and x is adjacent is a 12, opposite is y, which is 5. So now adjacent is this one here, so negative 12, and here is the opposite is negative 5. Now let's find r. So r is square root of 5 square plus 12 square. It doesn't matter if you write negative 5 or negative 2. So let's find this. It will never affect the negative because negative 5 squared stays 5 squared. Negative 12 squared stays 12 squared. So it will be square root of 25 plus 144. So the answer is equal square root of 169. So r is equal 13. So I find r. Now let's find the 6 trigonometric or the 5 trigonometric ratio. So sine theta. Sine is the opposite over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse opposite is negative 5 over 13. Cosine theta is equal adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is negative 12 over 13. Okay, tan is already given. We know that tan theta is 5 over 12. Okay, now cosecant. Cosecant theta is 13 over negative 5. Secant theta is equal 13 over negative 12. Cotangent theta is equal negative 12 over negative 5, which is equal 12 over 5. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now try to solve this question, and if you need any help, please let me know. So this is the answer for both of them. Okay, now let's go to the last part, the unit circle. So the unit circle here, okay, the most important part that you need to understand, that I told you that x and y, this is the adjacent and this one is the opposite, right? Now on the in the unit circle, the adjacent is the cosine and the opposite is, or the y is the sine. Okay, so in the unit circle it's following this rule here. So when they have the point x and y, so cosine is x and sine is the y. So you need to memorize this unit circle, and as I explained before, you have to memorize it. Okay, let me just give you a small analyzing or easy way to analyze it. First step, we already know how to memorize these coordinates here on the y, x positive, x negative, y positive, y negative, because you know that this is 1 0, this is 0 1, this is negative 1 0, this is 0 negative 1. Okay, and you know that this means is in degree 0, okay, in radian also 0, or 2 pi, or 0, or 360, because if you full rotation 360. Now in this point, you know this is 90 degree or pi over 2. In this coordinate you know that 180 or pi. In this point here it's 270 or 3 pi over 2. So these coordinates, we already know them and understand them from the previous. Now we need just to identify these points here. Okay, this is the only point that I have to memorize, and this point here is already given in the table. I told you the table is 30 sine 30 sine 45 sine 60, or cosine 30 cosine 45 cosine 60. Okay, I told you now the first coordinate, it's always represented by what? By cosine. And the second coordinate, it's always represented by what? By the sine. Okay, so let me write it here for you. So this is one is cosine, cosine, cosine. This one here is sine and sine. Okay, and this one also is sine. So when I ask you what is the sine 30, sine 30 is equal 1 over 2. What is sine pi over 6? Also is 1 over 2. Okay, what is cosine 30? Cosine 30 is square root of 3 over 2. What's cosine pi over 6? Square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so this is what you need to do. In quadrant 1, okay, all of them are positive. Okay, all of them are positive. Okay, now let's go to the quadrant 2. So quadrant 2, we need to memorize this. And if you look to the point, it's also similar to this point. For example, let's remove the numerator. Remove the numerator. Okay, pi over 3, okay, which is this one here, pi over 3, look to this one. Pi over 3, it's similar to pi over 3 half square root of 3 over 2. Same thing, but the difference is what? Is only the sign. So here, both of them are positive. Here I told you in quadrant 2, student take calculus. So student is positive, and I know that the sign is the second quadrant. So, okay, so this is sine, this is sine, this is sine, and on the other one, this is cosine. Cosine is negative, cosine is negative. Okay, so when I tell you what's cosine pi over 3, it's negative 1 over 2. But now you're saying, okay, teacher, but this is the numerator has a number. Okay, it's not pi over 3, pi over 4. Okay, you just need to use the numerator as a guidance. The numerator, let me write here, the numerator will guide you which quadrant we are in. For example, 3 pi over 4, 3 is 1 less than denominator, so we are in quadrant 2. So let's say 5 pi over 4, the numerator is greater than denominator by 1, so and we are in quadrant 3. Okay, so let's say 7 pi over 4, the numerator is double the denominator minus 1. Double the denominator minus 1, Write it right here, double, then minus 1. Double of 4, 8. 8 minus 1, 7. So we are in quadrant 4. So this is the rule that you need to memorize. Okay, so for example, in quadrant 2, the numerator is minus 1, the denominator minus 1. Okay, so 2 minus 2 over 3, 3 over 4, 5 over 6. In quadrant 3 here, okay, it's plus 1, more than denominator by 1. So look here, 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, 4 pi over 3. And in quadrant 4, okay, in quadrant 4, the numerator is double the denominator, then minus 1. So for example, what's the double of 6? 12. 12 minus 1, 11. What's the double of 4? 4 is 8. 8 minus 1, 7. 3 double, 6. 6 minus 1, 5. So this is how you can memorize. So as I told you before, this is how you can memorize the table. And don't forget this one, in this quadrant 2, sign is positive. In quadrant 3, tan is positive. So that means both of them is negative. Okay, in quadrant 3. And in quadrant 4, cosine is only the positive and both the other are negative. Okay, I hope you understand this. Try to memorize it, and tomorrow I will ask you about them. Okay, now find the trigonometric value. Use the unit circle. So sine pi over 3. Sine pi over 3, we are in quadrant 1. So sine is positive. So pi over 3 means sine 60. So what is sine 60? It's square root of 3 over 2 from the unit circle. So this is the answer, square root of 3 over 2. Now, cosine 135. 135, you need to do it, you can use coterminal angle. So what's the 135 in quadrant 2, right? So this is 135. So find the reference angle. Reference angle is 180 minus 135. So it's equal 45. So now what is cosine 45 from the table? It's square root of 2 over 2. Now this one here, let's draw the angle, 270. 270, it falls on the y coordinate, right? It falls on the y coordinate, -1. So this one is 0, -1. Okay? So now what is tan 270? I told you tan, it's sine 270 over cosine 270. So what's the point? We know that this one here, it's cosine, and we know that this one here is sine. Okay? Now, the sine is -1, cosine is 0, so it's undefined. Okay, now how about this one here? So let's draw the axis. 11 pi over 6. Now if we follow the rule, look to the numerator. The numerator is double the denominator minus 1. 6 double of 6, 12. 12 minus 1, 11. So this one in quadrant it's in quadrant 4. It should be here, 11 pi over 6. Now if I need to identify this, okay, what's the cosecant? What's the reciprocal for the cosecant? The reciprocal of the cosecant is sine 11 pi over 6. Okay, now I told you before the numerator, okay, is only identify the quadrant. I know that 11 it's in quadrant 4. خلاص, I will not use it. Now let's use sine pi over 6. What's sine of pi over 6 from the table? What's sine pi over 6? Okay, sine pi over 6 from the table, it means sine 30, right? Sine 30 is equal 1 over 2. Is this right? Let's go back here and check. Okay, see, pi over 6, sine is 1 over 2. Okay, now let's go here. And I know that the question is asking for cosecant. So cosecant 11 pi over 6. Cos sine is the reciprocal, so it will not be 1 over 2, it will be 2. So this is the answer. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now let's try to solve this question. And if you have any question about this, please let me know. Use the unit circle. If you didn't memorize the unit circle, the question will be difficult for you. Now let's go to the last part here. The last part, okay, we will not care about all of these because it's not important. Let's care about this one here. Okay, so I will give you easy way when the question give you the angle and this angle is not on the unit circle. How to do this? Okay, focus with me. How to do this one, finding this without the unit circle. First thing, always ignore the numerator. Ignore for the first time, just ignore the numerator. Okay, the circle has pi over 3, pi over 4 and pi over 6, right? So these 4 is repeated 4 times, right? In the quadrant 1, also repeated in the quadrant 2, also repeated in the quadrant 3, also repeated in the quadrant 4. So every one of these is repeated 4 times in the quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to find what exactly the angle from the fourth from all the quadrant. So for example, 3 pi over 3, it's in the quadrant 1. In the quadrant 2, it will be what? 2 pi over 3. In the quadrant 3, it will be 4 pi over 3. In the quadrant 4, it will be 5 pi over 6 over 3. So you need to pick all of these and write them down here. Okay, or now what you need to do, if the question is pi over 3, if the question is pi over 4, so it will be here 3 pi over 4. Here it will be 5 pi over 4. Here it will be 7 pi over 4. So we have here this one and this one and this one. So all of these 4 you have to rewrite them here again. Okay, you will ask me now, teacher, okay, after I found them, what should I do after I write them down? Okay, I will tell you what to do. Now, look to the question. Okay, after we know that this is pi over 4, so pi over 4 is repeated 4 times. I know I need to call them. Okay, it will be pi over 4. This is the first quadrant. The second quadrant will be 3 pi over 4. In quadrant 3, it will be 5 pi over 4. In quadrant 4, it will be 7 pi over 4. Okay, what you should do now? Now, let's say appear for the numerator. What you have to do, you have to test every one minus this one here. Okay, this one minus this, and after that you need to minus this one. Okay, from the angle again, and you need to minus this one from this angle here again, and you need to minus this one from this angle here again. So you need to test the 4 of them. Why you need to test 4 of them? Because one of them, if you minus it, you will get 2 pi. If you get an answer of 2 pi, so this one will be the correct answer. Okay, again, you need to minus this and minus this and minus this one from the angle given until you get 2 pi. If you get 2 pi, so this one will be the correct answer. If you didn't get 2 pi, so you just ignore it and go for the next one. Okay, now let's do what I just explained now to let you understand what I was meaning. Okay, first thing, it's 11 pi over 4. 11 pi over 4. So now 11 pi over 4. Now let's test the first one. Minus pi over 4. Just minus the numerator. Keep the denominator. Always the denominator will be same. 11 pi minus pi is equal 10 pi. Simplify it. It will be divide 5 over 2 pi. Did I get 2 pi? No. So this one is cancelled. Now let's test the second one. 3 pi over 4. Sorry, this one 3 pi over 4. So it will be 11 pi over 4 minus 3 pi over 4. Always it will be here over 4. Now 11 pi over minus 3. 11 minus 3 is equal 8 pi. 8 pi divided by 4 is equal 2 pi. Did I get 2 pi? Yes, so this one is the correct answer. خلاص, I don't have to test all of them. If you get one of them, it's 2 pi. You don't have to test all of them. So now just erase everything that we did. Okay, we don't need it now. Now, after I know that 3 pi over 4, now change the question, rewrite it. It's like reference angle. We found خلاص the reference angle. Now 3 pi over 4. What's the cosine 3 pi over 4? I know that from the circle 3 pi over 4 it falls in quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 sine, okay? So 3 pi over 4. This one in quadrant 2. So cosine is negative. And cosine pi over 2, it's square root of 2 over 2 negative. So this is what you need to do. You need to identify the quadrant, which is give you the sine, then go to the table that you memorized to find the angle. Okay? Okay. Now, let's do the second one here. Let's use this. Now, 2 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3, this one is already falls in the unit circle, right? 2 pi over 3, it's on the unit circle. It's in quadrant 2. Okay? And because it's in quadrant 2, I know that sine is positive in quadrant 2. And also I know that sine is positive. It's pi over 3. What's sine pi over 3? Pi over 3 means 60 degrees. So pi over 60, I think it's a square root of 3 over 2. But the question gave me negative. So because it gave me the negative, so I have to write the negative one, because this one will be in quadrant 4. So the answer will be negative square root of 3 over 2. Okay, if you need to understand, let's go here to just check from our answer. 2 pi over 3, it's sine here. Okay, as you can see, it's square root of 3 over 2, but it's negative because we are in quadrant 4. Sorry, so that's why it's negative. Okay, we are here. Now let's go back to the question. Now let's go to the last one. So as I mentioned before, let's test all of them. So it will be 19 pi over 6. So now let's bring all the 4 coordinates. We have pi over 6, okay, and we have 5 pi over 6, one less, and one more, 7 pi over 6, double, then minus 1, 11 pi over 6. Now let's test them. Let's start with the first one. So now 19 pi over 6, the given angle, minus pi over 6. Now it's over 6. 19 minus 1 is equal 18 pi. 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3 pi. So this is not 2 pi. We need to get 2 pi. So this is wrong. Now let's test the second one. 5 pi over 6. 19 pi over 6 minus 5 pi over 6. 19 minus 5 is equal 14 over 6 pi, right? Okay, so 14 divided by 6 is equal, if we need to divide by 2, divide by 2 is equal 7 over 3 pi. So this one is wrong because it's not 2 pi. Now let's test. Okay, so this is wrong. Now let's test the third one. 7 pi over 6. So 19 pi over 6 minus 7 pi over 6. So now 19 minus 7 is equal to 12 pi over 6. 12 pi over 6 is equal to 2 pi. Did I get 2 pi? Yes, I get 2 pi. So the answer is 7 pi over 6. So now let's change the question and rewrite it. So tan 7 pi over 6. From the unit circle 7 pi over 6, I know that it's in quadrant 3, and tan is positive in quadrant 3, and pi over 6, what is it, which means is 30. So I know that 30 is square root of 3 over 3. So this is the correct answer. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now try to solve these questions down. If you need help, please let me know. Now it's your turn. This is the end of the lesson. I hope you understand everything, and if you need anything, please ask me. Have a good day. Bye bye.